Claire stood frozen in the quiet kitchen, her trembling hands gripping Daniel's phone as the truth unfolded. His laughter with another woman spilled through glowing messages, each word a dagger tearing at her heart. The love she believed eternal collapsed in seconds, replaced by sharp betrayal. Tears blurred her vision, yet deep within her chest a new strength stirred, fierce and unyielding. This night would mark the end of innocence. Alone in the bedroom, Claire collapsed onto the bed, clutching her chest as sobs shook her fragile frame. Pillows muffled her cries. Yet the walls seemed to echo her pain louder than words ever could. Memories of promises, of tender moments, of a love she thought unshakable, now cut her like glass. In the silence, she screamed inside, asking why she was never enough. And yet, buried beneath her grief, a quiet fire of defiance began to burn. Days slipped into nights, and Claire remained trapped in her room, curtains drawn against the world outside. Empty cups lined the table, untouched meals cold on the floor, each hour blurring into the next. Her eyes, swollen from endless tears, stared blankly at nothing, searching for a reason to breathe. The silence screamed louder than any voice, pressing down with unbearable weight. Yet somewhere deep inside her shattered heart, a fragile whisper of strength waited to rise again. The room was heavy with silence when the soft knock came. Claire, curled beneath the blanket, didn't move, her swollen eyes fixed on nothing. The door creaked open and Emily stepped inside, her presence gentle, carrying the kind of warmth that could pierce even the darkest sorrow. She didn't speak right away. Instead, she sat beside Claire, her hand resting softly on her shoulder. The weight of unspoken understanding filled the air. Claire's chest rose with broken sobs, and Emily's touch steadied her, reminding her she wasn't alone. Words finally came, quiet yet firm. "You are stronger than what he did to you, Claire. This pain won't define you." Claire trembled, but for the first time, her tears carried something new. The faintest hint of release. The shattered walls around her heart cracked just enough to let a spark of hope slip through, fragile but real. The night stretched quietly as Claire sat across from Emily, the dim glow of a bedside lamp softening the edges of her pain. For a long moment, she said nothing, just twisting her fingers together, her eyes wet with the kind of grief that steals breath. Emily leaned closer, her voice calm yet steady. "Claire, love doesn't destroy, it heals. What Daniel did was betrayal, but it does not erase who you are." Claire's lips trembled as she whispered, "But I gave him everything. Every piece of me feels broken." Emily took her hand, squeezing gently. "Broken pieces can still build something stronger. Your story doesn't end with him. It begins when you choose yourself." Claire's tears fell freely, but they carried a new weight. Not only sorrow but the beginning of acceptance. In that fragile exchange, hope crept in, whispering that tomorrow might not feel as heavy. The office buzzed with its usual rhythm, papers shuffling, phones ringing, footsteps echoing. Yet Claire moved through it like a shadow, carrying her hidden pain. She kept her gaze low, afraid someone might see the storm behind her eyes. Then unexpectedly, a warm voice cut through the noise. "Hey, you must be Claire." She looked up, startled, and met Alex's steady gaze. There was nothing invasive in his eyes, only kindness, calm, and something unspoken, like he understood brokenness without needing to ask. He extended his hand, and Claire hesitated before slowly taking it, feeling a strange steadiness she hadn't known in weeks. The handshake was brief, but it lingered in her mind. For the first time since her world had collapsed, she felt seen, not as someone fragile or shattered, but as a person worth noticing. It was a small moment, almost ordinary, yet it carried the promise of something new. A fragile beginning wrapped inside an unexpected encounter. Claire sat at her desk, staring blankly at the screen, her thoughts drifting back to the storm that had nearly consumed her. Deadlines blurred, words lost meaning, and for a moment she felt that heavy pull of despair again. Then Alex appeared beside her, placing a small cup of coffee on her desk without a word. "Rough day?" he asked softly, his tone carrying warmth instead of judgment. She nodded, her voice caught in her throat, but he smiled gently. "You're stronger than you think, Claire. Don't let one chapter decide your whole story." His words, simple yet powerful, slipped into the cracks of her brokenness like sunlight piercing through closed curtains. For the first time in weeks, she exhaled, feeling the faint lift of her chest, like a burden had shifted just slightly. That quiet encouragement became a seed, tiny yet real, reminding her that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't as lost as she believed. At night, when the world outside quieted, Claire's battle grew louder. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, her heart aching with the weight of memories she could not silence. Part of her longed to believe Alex's kind words, to trust that strength still lived inside her. Yet another voice whispered doubt, cruel and relentless, telling her she was broken beyond repair. She wrestled with these shadows in silence, tears soaking her pillow as she clutched the blanket like armor. Every reminder of Daniel's betrayal cut fresh wounds. But now, a flicker of defiance sparked beneath the pain. Could she rise? Could she rebuild? Her chest tightened, torn between surrendering to despair and reaching for the faint hope that someone like Alex might help her find light again. It was a war no one could see, a storm raging quietly within her soul, and though unseen, it was shaping the woman she was meant to become. The morning sun streamed through the window, casting a soft glow over Claire's face as she sat quietly with her coffee. For the first time in weeks, the silence around her didn't feel crushing. It felt almost peaceful. She thought of Alex's gentle words, the way he had seen her not as broken, but as someone still whole, still capable of rising. That thought stayed with her, warming the edges of her pain. She breathed deeply, letting the air fill her chest, steady and slow, as if her body remembered what it was like to belong to herself again. The tears that slipped down her cheeks weren't heavy with despair this time. They carried release, the letting go of what she could no longer hold. In that moment, she chose not the past, not the betrayal, but the fragile possibility of tomorrow. Healing didn't come in grand gestures. It came in this, small breaths, quiet courage, and the choice to keep moving forward. The day felt ordinary until Claire opened the mailbox and froze. Resting inside was an envelope, crisp and elegant, with her name written in delicate gold letters. Her hands trembled as she slid a finger beneath the seal, a cold shiver running through her spine. She already knew what it was, yet her heart pounded wildly as if denial could change the truth. Unfolding the card, her eyes landed on the words, Daniel's wedding invitation. The name struck like a dagger, each letter echoing betrayal she had tried to bury. Her chest tightened, breath shallow as memories rushed back in waves. His smile, his promises, and the moment everything shattered. She sank into the chair, clutching the invitation, torn between rage and sorrow. It was more than paper. It was proof he had moved on, while she was still piecing herself together. The silence of the room pressed heavy, leaving Claire with a choice, to drown in the past or gather strength for what lay ahead. Claire sat alone in her room, the wedding invitation lying open on the table, its golden letters gleaming like cruel reminders. Her mind spun in endless circles, one voice whispering that she should stay away, protect her fragile heart, and never risk seeing him again. Another voice, quieter but persistent, urged her to go, to face the pain and prove to herself that she was no longer broken. She stared at the card, torn between fear and defiance, each thought pulling her in opposite directions. What if seeing Daniel shattered her all over again? Yet, what if avoiding the moment meant giving him power forever? Her fingers traced the edges of the invitation, her chest tightening with every breath. The battle wasn't just about him. It was about reclaiming her own strength. Could she walk into that wedding and hold her head high? Or would the past chain her down again? In the silence, no answer came, only the weight of choice pressing deeper. At the cozy cafe, the aroma of coffee mingling with soft chatter around them, Claire stared down at her cup, swirling the dark liquid as thoughts of the wedding gnawed at her. Alex sat across, his eyes calm yet piercing, reading the storm behind her silence. Claire, he said softly, you don't owe them anything. You don't have to go. She lifted her gaze, uncertainty flickering across her features, words trapped in her throat. But if I don't go, she murmured, won't it look like I'm still running from them? Alex reached out, brushing a loose strand of hair from her face, his touch steadying, grounding. Then go with your head high, but not for them, for you. I'll be right beside you. You won't face it alone. His words, gentle yet firm, sank deep, carrying a reassurance she hadn't felt in months. Claire's chest rose with slow, deliberate breaths, the weight of indecision easing slightly, as a fragile spark of courage flickered within her heart, urging her toward a choice that would define her dignity and strength. In Claire's bedroom, sunlight filtered softly through patterned curtains, dust motes dancing in the warm glow as Emily held up a stunning gown against her friend's frame. Claire hesitated, biting her lip, uncertainty flickering in her eyes as memories of betrayal lingered. Emily smiled, gently reassuring. "This isn't just a dress, Claire. It's your armor, your statement, your voice without words." Claire's fingers brushed the fabric, feeling its weight, elegance, and promise. She laughed nervously, a sound mingling anxiety and curiosity, and looked at Emily, who radiated encouragement and warmth. "It will remind them nothing has broken you, nothing has taken your light," Emily whispered. The room felt alive with possibility as Claire finally allowed herself to imagine walking with dignity, her head held high, stepping into a moment that was hers alone. A choice of courage over fear, strength over sorrow, and hope over despair, every heartbeat echoing the promise of her own resilience. Claire stood before the tall mirror, the soft glow of the lamp highlighting her elegant African-inspired gown, her jewelry catching the light with every subtle movement. She inhaled deeply, feeling the fabric brush against her skin, the reflection staring back at her showing not the woman shattered by betrayal, but someone reborn, dignified, and serene. Her hair was perfectly styled, her posture upright, shoulders squared with quiet strength. She studied her reflection, noticing the courage in her eyes, the subtle smile that spoke of resilience. Every scar, every tear, every sleepless night had brought her here. And now, in this private moment, she allowed herself to feel pride. The mirror no longer reflected pain. It reflected victory, patience, and self-respect. With a final deep breath, Claire whispered softly to herself, "This is me. Strong, whole, unstoppable." In that instant, the past seemed distant, and the promise of tomorrow shimmered with endless possibility, her confidence radiating from within like sunlight breaking through clouds. As the sun dipped behind the Grand Hotel entrance in Accra, Claire stepped out of the car, her elegant gown flowing gracefully. Alex at her side in a dark tailored suit, exuding quiet confidence. Guests in vibrant African formal attire moved along the red carpet, pausing as whispers and sideways glances followed their entrance. The soft glow of evening lights shimmered against glass doors, reflecting Claire's calm composure and poised elegance. Her heart raced not with fear but with quiet determination, every step a declaration of strength and dignity. She held her head high, shoulders back, eyes forward, knowing that this arrival was not about showing off or competing. It was about claiming her space, her peace, and her triumph over the past. Each step felt deliberate, a heartbeat in the rhythm of her courage, a silent message that she had risen above betrayal and was here fully, entirely herself. The crowd's attention fell upon her, but she felt only clarity and empowerment, a woman who had reclaimed her story with grace, her presence commanding respect without a single word spoken. As Claire and Alex walked into the grand ballroom, golden lights shimmering from chandeliers above, heads subtly turned, whispers rippling through the crowd. Guests, dressed in elegant African attire, paused mid-conversation, eyes drawn to Claire's poised entrance. Her graceful steps, calm composure, and confident posture commanded attention without a word. Some whispered in surprise, astonished at her transformation, while others looked on with admiration. The subtle shift in the room was palpable. What was once pity and gossip had turned into respect and curiosity. Claire felt the weight of their gazes but remained unshaken, walking steadily with Alex by her side, letting her presence speak volumes. Every glance, every murmur confirmed her resilience, her courage, and her dignity. This was her moment, a silent yet powerful declaration that she had risen, not for revenge, but to claim her peace and strength. Jessica stood near the reception table, her white African-inspired gown glowing under the soft lights, when her eyes caught Claire entering with Alex at her side. A flicker of surprise passed across her face, quickly masked by a practiced smile. Yet her grip on Daniel's arm tightened subtly. She felt an unexpected tension, a ripple of insecurity she hadn't anticipated. All around her, the celebration continued, but in that instant, Claire's calm elegance, confident posture, and poised expression drew every eye, including Jessica's, forcing her to confront a truth she hadn't expected. Clare had transformed, radiating strength and dignity that no gown or glitter could imitate. Jessica's heart raced slightly, a whisper of doubt crossing her mind, and she realized that this woman, once broken, now held a presence that could not be ignored, a quiet power that commanded attention without a single word, leaving her uneasy despite her outward composure. Daniel froze mid-step, his eyes widening as they locked on Claire's entrance, her elegance and poise radiating like sunlight through the grand ballroom. The confident way she walked, head held high, gown flowing, shoulders squared, left him momentarily speechless, a flicker of unease crossing his face. He forced a smile, but it trembled, betraying the surprise and tension building inside him. Around them, guests continued their chatter. Yet Daniel felt the room shrink, as if every gaze silently acknowledged Claire's undeniable transformation. He realized, with a sinking weight, that the woman he once underestimated had risen beyond his reckoning. The pride he once felt in leaving her now clashed with an unexpected humility. Her grace, dignity, and quiet strength left him unsettled. Every gesture, every glance she gave Alex beside her reinforced that she was no longer the same Clare, the one he thought he could break. He had moved on, yet here she was, reclaiming the room, her presence commanding attention and respect without uttering a word. Clare and Daniel stood near the corner of the ballroom, the golden light casting subtle shadows across their faces. Daniel's forced smile faltered as he searched Claire's eyes, trying to read a trace of the woman he once knew. Claire's posture was calm, upright, exuding quiet confidence, every movement deliberate, controlled. "You look different," Daniel said, his voice low, betraying unease. Clare met his gaze steadily, her expression serene yet firm. "Yes, I am different," she replied softly, each word carrying strength and composure. Around them, guests whispered, pretending not to stare. Yet the tension was palpable. This brief exchange spoke volumes. She had risen, not in anger or revenge, but in dignity and self-respect, reclaiming herself fully. Daniel realized in that moment that the woman he thought he could break had transformed into someone untouchable, confident, and unshakable. And there was nothing he could do to change that reality. Claire walked out of the grand hotel lobby with Alex by her side, the soft night air brushing her face, the glow of the ballroom lights reflecting on the glass doors behind them. Her posture was impeccable, head held high, every step deliberate and calm, radiating dignity and quiet strength. Guests glimpsed her departure, whispers flowing behind her, but Claire felt only serenity, each heartbeat echoing freedom and self-respect. No tears fell, no anger stirred, only a peaceful confidence that spoke louder than any words. Alex walked beside her, steady and supportive, their hands brushing slightly, a silent understanding passing between them. This exit was more than leaving a place. It was a statement, a reclaiming of her life and closure of a painful chapter, showing that grace and composure were far more powerful than revenge or resentment. Leaving her past behind and stepping fully into her own light and peace. Sitting by her apartment window that night, Claire watched the city lights twinkle, the memories of the wedding fading into a calm serenity, her gown still brushed softly against her legs, the evening's tension replaced by quiet reflection. She smiled gently, realizing that victory had never been about Daniel or Jessica, but about reclaiming her peace and dignity. Each breath felt lighter, each thought clearer. The whispers and stares of the ballroom were gone, leaving only her sense of strength and triumph. Alex's presence beside her, steady and reassuring, reminded her that true support and love existed beyond the shadows of betrayal. In that quiet moment, she understood the power of patience, resilience, and self-respect, knowing that her journey was her own, that she had risen above the pain, and that the life ahead would be defined by freedom, calm, and the quiet joy of being wholly herself. Claire sat in her living room, phone in hand, the soft glow of the lamp illuminating her calm face. One by one, messages appeared from friends and colleagues, words of admiration and encouragement filling the screen. "You look so strong tonight. Proud of you, sister. Your grace is inspiring." Each notification brought a quiet warmth to her heart, a reminder that her resilience and dignity had not gone unnoticed. She smiled softly, feeling validation not from revenge or proving anyone wrong, but from the recognition of her strength. In that moment, the peace she had fought for wrapped around her like a gentle embrace, and the triumph of rising above betrayal felt complete, reinforcing that true strength is quiet, self-earned, and profoundly empowering. Claire held her phone calmly, scrolling through Daniel and Jessica's social media posts from the wedding, each photo perfectly staged, glamorous, and meticulously curated. Their smiles and luxurious settings were clear attempts to flaunt their so-called happiness. Yet Claire felt no jealousy, no sting. She observed with serene detachment, her heart steady and mind at peace. The glittering images could not touch her dignity, nor could they diminish the strength she had rebuilt. While others might envy, she understood the difference between appearance and reality. Her own growth, her self-respect, and the life she was creating held far more meaning than any staged photo or fleeting admiration. And she smiled softly, knowing she had already won where it truly mattered, within herself. In the bustling outdoor African market, two women leaned close, whispering as they sorted colorful fabrics and baskets of fruits. Their voices were hushed but curious, carrying rumors about Daniel and Jessica's seemingly perfect marriage, noting moments of tension they had observed or heard about from acquaintances. Claire, walking nearby, caught glimpses of their conversation without needing to eavesdrop, realizing that gossip could never touch her peace. She felt a quiet satisfaction knowing that while others speculated and judged, she had already risen above the chaos of their drama. The vibrant market colors and lively chatter contrasted sharply with her calm mind, a reminder that true strength and dignity cannot be shaken by whispers or illusions. Observing the scene, Claire understood deeply that her journey of resilience and self-respect had placed her far beyond the reach of idle gossip, leaving her unbothered and serene, fully owning her present and future without looking back. Sitting quietly on a park bench in Accra, Claire held her notebook gently in her lap, the warm glow of the setting sun casting golden light over the trees and path. She breathed in slowly, feeling the soft rustle of autumn leaves under her feet, and a profound sense of calm washed over her. For the first time in years, her mind was still, free from the weight of betrayal, envy, and lingering resentment. Every challenge she had endured, the heartbreak, humiliation, and moments of doubt, now felt like a necessary journey toward self-discovery. She smiled softly, realizing that true peace was not the absence of pain but the presence of dignity, resilience, and unwavering self-respect. In that serene moment, she understood that her life's value was defined by her own choices, patience, and ability to rise above external chaos, leaving past shadows behind with clarity and grace, fully embracing the quiet triumph of inner freedom. Claire and Alex walked side by side through a serene Paris park, the late afternoon sun casting golden light over tree-lined paths and neatly placed benches. Leaves crunched softly beneath their feet as they strolled, exchanging gentle smiles and quiet conversation that carried comfort and mutual respect. Claire's elegant yet modest dress flowed with her movements, while Alex's blazer reflected his calm and supportive presence. Around them, the distant hum of the city felt peaceful, almost like a soft melody accompanying their shared moments. The Eiffel Tower peeked faintly between branches, adding a subtle romantic backdrop. In each step, Claire felt a new sense of liberation and trust, her heart lighter, her spirit renewed, embracing the simple joy of connection, the steady warmth of companionship, and the profound understanding that growth and love can coexist, creating a future rooted in respect, calm, and unshakable confidence. Alex turned toward Claire in the quiet Paris park, his gaze sincere, his expression warm and encouraging. He raised a hand gently as he spoke, words flowing with admiration and respect, praising her resilience, inner strength, and the grace with which she had overcome betrayal. Claire listened, a soft smile forming, feeling the weight of his acknowledgement and the gentle validation of her journey. The golden sunlight bathed them both, highlighting the quiet intimacy of the moment, the shared understanding that true partnership is built on respect, empathy, and support. Claire's heart swelled with gratitude, realizing that this appreciation wasn't empty flattery, but a recognition of her growth, patience, and courage. In that serene scene, surrounded by autumn leaves and soft park sounds, she understood that love and admiration are most powerful when rooted in genuine respect. and that the journey of rising from hardship can be celebrated quietly, fully, and with the pure joy of being seen for who she truly was, not just what she had endured. Claire sat on a quiet park bench in Paris, Alex beside her, the autumn leaves forming a golden carpet around them. She gazed into the distance, reflecting on the journey that had brought her here. From heartbreak, betrayal, and doubt to resilience, self-discovery, and inner peace. Alex remained silent, respecting her thoughts, his calm presence a comforting anchor. In the soft glow of the fading sun, Claire felt gratitude for her growth, realizing that true strength comes not from what others think but from how we rise above challenges. Every breath carried clarity and calm, a quiet triumph of patience, dignity, and self-respect. She understood that the past no longer defined her. The future belonged to her, full of promise, love, and unwavering serenity. Sitting at a Paris café terrace, Claire and Alex laughed warmly together, the soft hum of the city blending with the clinking of coffee cups and distant chatter. The Eiffel Tower blurred in the background, a silent witness to their growing connection. While sunlight cast a golden glow over their faces, Claire felt genuine joy, her eyes reflecting a new light that had been absent for years. Every smile, every shared story deepened their bond, creating trust and understanding that went beyond words. The warmth of Alex's presence, his attentive listening, and gentle encouragement reminded her that true partnership thrives in patience, empathy, and mutual respect. Each gesture, each laugh, each moment together built an unspoken promise of support, love, and shared growth, cementing a foundation that balanced emotional intimacy with steady companionship, showing Claire that healing could be joyful, steady, and profoundly fulfilling in the company of someone who truly valued her for who she had become, not merely who she once was. Claire stood confidently on stage at a professional African conference in Nairobi, the spotlight illuminating her poised figure as she spoke into the microphone with authority and passion. Behind her, a projector displayed slides on leadership, while the audience listened intently, nodding and applauding at her insights. Each word carried the weight of her journey, her resilience shining through as she shared lessons learned from heartbreak, betrayal, and the courage it took to rebuild herself. The room buzzed with admiration, especially from young women who saw in Clare a role model for perseverance, strength, and ambition. Her calm yet powerful presence inspired not only respect but also motivation, demonstrating that personal transformation translates into professional excellence. Every gesture, every pause, every confident step on that stage symbolized the culmination of years of inner growth, disciplined effort, and unwavering dedication. In that moment, Claire embodied success, proving that true achievement comes from resilience, self-belief, and the relentless pursuit of one's goals, leaving a lasting impression on everyone fortunate enough to witness her journey unfold with grace, power, and authenticity. Seated in a community center filled with young African women, Claire spoke with calm confidence, her hands moving gently as she shared lessons from her journey through heartbreak, betrayal, and self-discovery. Every woman listened intently, eyes bright with hope, as Claire emphasized patience, resilience, and dignity. She reminded them that their worth isn't defined by others, but by how they rise from challenges. Her voice carried warmth and encouragement, blending personal stories with practical advice. The room felt alive with reflection and inspiration as Claire empowered them to embrace hardships, learn from setbacks, and trust in themselves. Through her words and presence, she showed that true growth comes from perseverance, self-respect, and belief in one's own journey, leaving a lasting impression of hope and strength that would stay with them long after they left the room. Claire and Emily sat across from each other at a cozy restaurant table in Lagos, the warm candlelight flickering over their faces as plates of African dishes were served between them. They laughed freely, the sound of genuine joy filling the intimate space, a sharp contrast to the years of pain and heartbreak Claire had endured. Emily's eyes sparkled with pride and admiration, celebrating Claire's growth, resilience, and the woman she had become. Every shared story and heartfelt smile strengthened their bond, reminding Claire of the power of true friendship. In that moment, surrounded by soft chatter, the aroma of food, and gentle lighting, Claire felt a profound sense of contentment, realizing she had not only healed but also reclaimed her happiness, dignity, and peace. sharing it with someone who had been her unwavering support through every trial, laughter, and tear, marking a night of celebration, warmth, and unspoken gratitude that would linger in her heart forever. Standing on her balcony at night, Claire gazed out over the city lights, the soft glow reflecting in her calm eyes as a gentle breeze brushed her face. In that quiet moment, the memory of Daniel, once a source of heartbreak and pain, began to fade like a shadow at dawn, losing its hold on her heart and mind. She felt a profound sense of liberation, knowing she no longer carried anger, resentment, or longing. Instead, peace enveloped her, a silent affirmation that she had reclaimed her life, her dignity, and her joy. With each breath, she welcomed freedom from the past, understanding that letting go wasn't weakness but ultimate strength. And in this serene solitude, Claire embraced her present fully, feeling empowered, grounded, and ready to step into her future unburdened, with clarity, grace, and unwavering self-respect, leaving behind only lessons, not pain, as Daniel's memory dissolved gently into the night, leaving space for true peace to blossom. Sitting at her desk in daylight, Claire gently wrote in her notebook, her expression calm and thoughtful, as sunlight spilled across the flowers in a vase, symbolizing forgiveness and peace. Thoughts of Jessica no longer carried bitterness. Instead, Claire felt quiet understanding. She recognized that what Jessica had taken was only external, temporary, and could never touch the inner strength and freedom Claire had fought so hard to reclaim. Her heart was light, free from resentment, and she smiled softly, knowing that letting go of anger and refusing to hate allowed her to live fully. In that serene moment, surrounded by the calm of her African home, Claire reflected on the journey that had brought her here, through betrayal, heartbreak, healing, and self-discovery, and realized that true peace comes not from wishing harm or feeling jealousy, but from embracing forgiveness, dignity, and the clarity that life is meant to be lived with grace, strength, and compassion, allowing her soul to remain unshaken, happy, and free. Standing at her window in the early morning, Claire wore a simple robe, sunlight spilling softly across the room, warming her face and casting gentle shadows. She held a cup of tea, inhaling the peaceful aroma, a quiet smile forming on her lips. Every trial, heartbreak, and challenge she had faced felt distant, replaced by gratitude and clarity. Her heart was light, free from pain, resentment, or fear, as she whispered a prayer of thanks for her journey, recognizing that patience and resilience had guided her to this peace. The soft rustle of leaves outside and golden light mirrored her inner calm, reminding her that life's true victories come from mastering oneself. Claire had reclaimed her life, dignity, and joy, fully embracing the present, ready to step forward with serenity and confidence, open to life's possibilities, empowered, healed, and free.